What a headshot! What a head!
How's it, guys? This is Dayvy FPL and welcome back to the Fantasy Premier League video here on my channel. Now in this video I'm going to take you guys through my current FPL draft for the upcoming 2021/2022 season. Right off the bat, I just wanted to say that I've managed to recover slightly from the illness that I've been going through, but I do apologize if the voice isn't up to its normal standards or the video content isn't as great as usual, but hopefully this video will still be enjoyable and I'll be getting back to that great content in the upcoming days. I just also wanted to say that if you guys are interested in the channel, consider subscribing and putting that bell notification on, because from now till that game week 1 deadline, we're going to be creating a video basically every single 2 days. Some great content, some great video ideas coming up. Make sure to also drop in the comments down below if you want me to cover anything specifically, even if it is kind of just a draft with Harry Kane, Heung-min Son, for example. Unfortunately, my taste and my sense of smell have gone, but hopefully my taste in FPL options hasn't disintegrated. To start off this video, we're going to be talking about some talking points relating to drafts. Should you guys be doing drafts? Should you be completely negating them, just kind of focusing on that final week with all the transfers still to be confirmed and all the preseason content still coming up? Or should you be kind of fooling around a bit? And then I'll be taking you guys through the Everton fixtures. And spoiler alert, my current draft doesn't have a single Everton player in it. We're then going to finally cover the draft and talk about the options that I have put in and kind of covering some alternatives that maybe you guys can consider. So if you guys are interested in that, sit back, relax, and let's get straight into it. So just a quick reminder about Fantasy Football Fix, and I have included the fixture tick in this video, so I thought that I would include the promotion link as well because we are covering some content from them. You can get 65% off on Fantasy Football Fix subscriptions if you do use my affiliate link. So go check that out. Massive features dropping this Friday, so make sure you are following me and the channel, and then also subscribe to the website if you want to catch up on the latest tools that they will be releasing. So going on to the first talking point, and that's basically, is it too early to make drafts? And I don't know about this one. I'm kind of on the fence, to be honest. On the one hand, I definitely think it's too early to say this player is locked into my side, except for maybe a Mo Salah or a Bruno Fernandes, those sort of high premium options. But I don't think we're going to be looking at our current team and think that this is going to be the side that we go into that game week 1 deadline with. There's just too much to come up. What if Harry Kane moves to Man City? What if Jack Grealish moves to Man City? What if Mo Salah gets moved to Real Madrid, for example? So a lot of kind of news still has to take place on the transfers and the preseason side. But then on the other hand, I think that you guys should be kind of looking at the players and the formations and go and do a couple of combinations that you think could actually work out for your drafts. So what I'm saying here is, in this video, I'm going to be covering Trent Alexander-Arnold and Robertson as a combination and seeing what draft I could come up with if I wanted to fit both the Liverpool premium defenders in my side. And then you could maybe do a Kane or a Son draft. You could do a no Bruno draft. You could do a Sterling draft, a Kevin De Bruyne draft. These are kind of the things that I think you guys should be playing around with so that you kind of see your alternatives, see your options, and maybe you see a side that you actually really like compared to the first draft that you managed to come up with. So no, I don't think it's too early to make drafts, and that's why I've created this video, but I wanted to create some variation with it. I'm not going to kind of change 1 or 2 players and suddenly make a 15-minute video. So that's why you'll see with the drafts upcoming in my new content, I'll be doing a couple of drafts around various players that I might not have considered at the start. So what I would recommend, kind of just have fun with it, guys. There's a couple of weeks till FPL, then we have to take things super seriously, and I do think there's some nice budget options and some nice premiums that are priced quite well that you guys can have enough variety to play with from now till that game week 1 deadline. So now going on to the first team, and the team that I wanted to cover in this video. As I mentioned, I don't have any Everton players in my current draft. So the reason I wanted to talk about Everton is because there are a couple of combinations of players like a Luca Digne and a DCL that you can have, or you can swap them out and go for some cheaper options and then make sacrifices in your midfield or your defense to fit in some more premium assets. And Everton are kind of the team that I'm currently looking at. So not only do Everton have a new manager, but they do have a new manager in preseason. So I don't know exactly if we're going to be getting that new manager bounce that we usually have in the full season, when when a new manager comes in, all the players are hyped, they want to get into the starting 11, so they play super well. But in a preseason context, maybe that doesn't happen, but it could not. I really do rate Rafa Benitez as a manager, especially from a defensive point of view. So Luca Digne is definitely the one that I'm currently looking at. But the thing that kind of leads me to maybe not go with the DCL is that there's just so many good budget options in that striker department. You'll see who I've gone with in the front three, but I haven't even got for some of the best striker options because I just favor other alternatives because of the fixtures. But when we do look at the Everton fixtures from an attacking and a defensive point of view, I went over to Fantasy Football Fixers fixture ticker or analyzer and I monitored their fixtures. And not only do they have the best attacking fixtures, but they rated with the best defensive fixtures as well. And you guys can see those on screen there. Some really great fixtures coming up. I don't know if I think they're the best fixtures in the world, just because I think maybe some of these sides are being a little bit underrated. They've got Leeds in there, they've got Brighton in there. I mean, are Everton going to keep a clean sheet against both those sides? Maybe not, maybe they will. Will they score against both those sides? We don't know. And that's just the thing about Everton. So maybe what I can maybe recommend is giving it a couple of game weeks, seeing how Everton are currently setting up, and then we can go absolutely ham, bringing in Luca Digne or DCL if we see fit. And then we can kind of get on some nice fixtures from game week 6 onwards. But the Everton assets do come a little bit more expensive than other options. And that's why I said Luca Digne, DCL, because these options come in at 8 million, 5.5. Richarlison is playing in the Olympics, so that's why I haven't really covered him. But that could also make them a worse side because Richarlison might not be back for those opening couple fixtures. So that's just something that you have to take into account. How is Benitez going to set up his formation? Are they going to sign any more options? Dumfries is kind of rumored to be maybe moving to Everton. So that's why I think with those Everton options, if there was one side that I'm kind of looking to maybe downgrade, it has been Everton, unfortunately, in this draft. Now, I still think they're great options. I'll talk about maybe fitting those a couple players into the current draft that we do have. But right now, you'll see that I have gone without Everton assets. So now moving on to the current draft, and as you can see, I've titled it I'm Blue by Eiffel65 because you can see there's basically no blue players in my current draft, except for maybe Lamptey and Sanchez if you do include my bench. So going over the Red Sea here, starting off in goal, we've gone for Sanchez just because I think he's the best 4.5 option. A lot of hype has been brought about Bachmann and Foster as a double up. That could also be perfectly reasonable, but I personally prefer Sanchez and Foster just because Sanchez and Brighton have been in the Premier League already and they might be a little more consistent in keeping those clean sheets. The defense, we then move on to Luke Shaw, and then I've gone for my prize double up of Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson. So Luke Shaw's the player that you guys are going to have to monitor. It's come out this week that he has picked up a broken rib injury in the Euros, but he managed to play through that. And when I did research the kind of comeback time for broken ribs, it's about 6 weeks with no strenuous activity. So that basically means for 6 weeks from the Euros, he's not going to have any activity sporting wise, but he could also recover quicker than that. And I'm pretty sure the United medical team will be looking to have him on track for that game week 1 deadline. So Luke Shaw, easy switch out there if he doesn't manage to become fit. Simply Luca Digne comes back into the lineup. I know I've kind of rated Everton's fixtures as might not being that great, but I do think that he's the standard option for a replacement for Luke Shaw, and he could even be a standard in the current draft if I don't really want to go for United defend at the start. Then we go for Trent and Alexander-Arnold, which I think, to be honest, is just something about me that really is favouring this double up. I don't know why. I just think that Liverpool are going to have a great season. Trent, Robbo are going to have great seasons. And when I look at those Liverpool fixtures, I know they don't have the best fixtures in the world with Chelsea and Man City in the first 6, but those games could also be quite close. Maybe 0-0s amongst the better opposition are sometimes quite reasonable. So maybe they keep a clean sheet in that game. And with the other fixtures around them, they definitely can keep a couple clean sheets and attacking returns. And I just think with Van Dijk back, with Joe Gomez back, with Konate signed, I think the defense is going to be absolutely rock solid at the back. And I think that Liverpool are going to have a better season defensively than they did last season. Now going into the midfield and the forward department, and the thing that you've probably noticed is that I've gone for a triple up on those Aston Villa assets. So with those Aston Villa assets, Buendia, Traore and Watkins, I'm just kind of targeting those first 3 fixtures that Aston Villa do have. You'll see that there's no Grealish in here just because there is some speculation over his future. And also if he manages to stay, you could argue that it makes Traore, Buendia and Watkins even better options. We're just going to kind of have to see who fits into that lineup, into the starting 11, because if Jack Grealish does come back, maybe an El Ghazi falls out, maybe an El Ghazi plays instead of a Buendia, a Traore. That's all going to be kind of seen in the future, and I'll focus on those preseason games and those lineups when they do come out. But we've gone for Traore, Buendia here because I think they're great value, and also we can simply just downgrade them to Rafinha or Harrison when the time comes for those Leeds fixtures. So I'm only targeting those first 3, and then I'll ship them out to some other alternatives. And at that midfield bracket, at that 6.5, there's great options that you guys can go for. The 2 premium assets are 100% nailed in my opinion. It's going to be Fernandes, it's going to be Mo Salah. I don't even think a Sancho price at 9.0 would make me kind of sway from going for a Bruno Fernandes, as I just think that he's the best Man United option on paper. And that's why I think that Salah, Fernandes at the start of the competition have to go for them just for kind of a safety point of view. Going to have massive ownerships for under them. And in the opening 6, you'll kind of rotate the captaincy between these two options in my opinion. Then in the final department, which is going to be the striking department, already mentioned Ollie Watkins, great option to have, but I have brought in Antonio as he's kind of my next favorite attacker right now after maybe going for an Iheanacho. The only thing about Iheanacho is that Leicester have a really great fixture in game week 3 where the other sides don't have good fixtures, to be honest. Maybe you want to go for an Iheanacho in that case, but I think going for Antonio at the start is a perfectly viable strategy with those lovely West Ham fixtures that they do have. And then finally, I've gone for Tony from Brentford. So yes, a 6.5 attacker here. A great value for money if he manages to replicate last season in the Championship. But we all know the Championship to the Premier League is a completely new competition and a completely new, harder competition. So maybe Brentford and Tony might not perform to the standard that they usually are set at. But at 6.5, I kind of had to make some downgrades, and that's why I took DCL to Tony to upgrade Luca Digne to Robertson, because I needed a couple million there to upgrade him. But I think that he's a perfectly viable kind of budget option to go for. And what you can do is you can simply just downgrade him to Pookie when those Norwich fixtures do come a little bit better, because Pookie is rated at 6.0 million. On the bench, nothing much to talk about there. I've gone for Lamptey as my favorite 4.5, but there are other 4.5 options that you guys can go for. I then have also gone for Williams from Man United, as there still is some rumors that he might make a move to another side like a Southampton, and hopefully he does play there, but he just comes in at 4.0 because I needed a cheap defender. And then finally, we've gone for the new man, Brownhill from Burnley, after his brace in Burnley's preseason fixture yesterday. So I think that he could be quite good value for money, but between him, Gilmore, Basuma, there's not much between them. So I kind of just put Brownhill in here because he has a little bit of hype around him at the current moment. But this is the current draft. As I always say, please post your drafts down below. Post your thoughts down below. I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot of you guys that are kind of roasting my draft, so we can get at least a little bit of dialogue going down in the comments below, and maybe have some debates about what the best draft is at the current moment. But as I said, 3 weeks till the deadline, lots of kind of room to move and make some variations and options. So I'm pretty sure you guys are going to have an absolute ball making your drafts with those nicely priced FPL options. But this is basically a wrap for the video, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Please don't forget to like it if you did, and subscribe if you're new or have not subscribed yet. I'll be seeing you guys in the next couple of days for some more absolutely amazing FPL content, hopefully. So make sure that you have put those bell notifications on so you don't miss out on any videos coming up. I'm going to be signing off. It's been Dayvy FPL, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.